So if you find yourself struggling with this topic, go to YouTube, look up unit analysis or dimensional analysis, and you will find people talking about how to do this. You'll find people teaching you to do it. There's a great website for doing this stuff. You might have heard of it. It is called Khan Academy. Anybody heard of this? I would go ahead and write that down. Go to khanacademy.org. They have an app. You can save videos to your phone. You can pause, play, and the guy talks you through exactly how to do these things. Talk you through it right now. So step one, write down what you're given. Look at the sample problem. What are you given? What do they list? What measurement is in that problem? 3 feet. This right here is what you're given. So we're going to write down 3 feet. Is that an easy step? Rather than give you the definition of a conversion factor right now, I'm going to show you how you build one. And when we're done with it, you'll go, that's a conversion factor? That was easy. And it should be easy for you to do in the future. Okay, so it says multiply. So all I do is I take my 3 feet, the thing I had written before, and I'm going to multiply. Easy enough? A conversion factor is actually a fraction. So I'm going to do a division bar. And one of the things that will make life easier in the future is to do a horizontal division bar. Don't do the little slanted 1/2 for a half. Do the elementary school where you do 1/2, so you have a horizontal bar. It's a lot more visual, and you're less likely to miss things. So we're going to multiply it out, and I'm going to talk my way through this, and then I'll explain what I mean at the top. I am converting from what unit to what unit again? Feet to inches. So can I abbreviate feet? FT. So I'm going to put FT on the bottom. You're going to understand in a minute why I start with the bottom, but you always start with the bottom. You might want to write that down. And I'm going to convert to what again? Inches. And I'm going to stick inches on top of this fraction. Now, before I bother with any numbers, look at the units. What will the units do? Which ones will cancel? So feet right here is going to cancel with feet right here, and you're going to be left with inches. So as long as I put the right numbers here, I have the right answer. So those right numbers, in order to write those, the measurements must be equal. And I actually did part 2. Do the units cancel? Just talked us through. So the units will cancel. The numbers in there need to be equal. So how do I make inches equal feet? 12 what? 12 inches. So your brain needs to say, hey brain, don't tell me 12, tell me 12 inches. There are 12 inches which equal 1 foot. Is the math easy now? Cancel feet. Left with inches. What's 3 times 12? 36 divided by 1. 36. So we have 36, and what's the unit? Inches. That's all you do. Little typo there. I blame autocorrect. I already did step 3 in the last problem, but let's talk it out from start to finish so that you're good at it. What did we do? We said we have 3 feet, right? So we wrote down 3 feet. We multiplied by a conversion factor, and a conversion factor is just simply a fraction. The fraction has to be set up so that the units do what? Cancel. So the first unit I'm going to write down is, I need to get rid of feet. How do I get rid of feet right here? Put feet on the bottom. Easy? What am I converting to? Inches. So I put inches on top. Notice I did the units first. I don't bother with numbers yet. The numbers are going to be 12 and 1. Do you agree? But the trick is putting them in the right place. Does 12 go on top or on the bottom? Isn't it a 50-50 guess if you're not paying attention? 50-50 is a failing grade, so let's pay attention. It is 12 what? Inches. So say it, say it out loud in your head quietly. 12 inches equals 1 foot. Yeah. And then what? Cancel the units out. Before you do the math, before you do the numbers, cancel out the units. Do you have the unit you want left over? Yeah. So we're going to have 3 times 12 is 36 inches. Those are the steps. So let's work through a couple examples here. We're going to do the same thing. How many inches are in 100 yards? Okay, so we're going to write down what we know. What do we know? What's given in this problem? 100 yards. So we have 100 yards, and I'm going to, what's the next step? Multiply by that thing that you can't remember the name of, right? Multiply by conversion factor, multiplication, division bar. What do I want to happen to yards? I want yards to convert to inches. I want yards to go away. How do you mathematically make yards go away? Put them on the bottom. So I put yards on the bottom, and I'm converting to what again? Inches. So I'm going to put inches on top. If I do all the right numbers, do yards cancel giving me inches? Yeah. So I've set up the problem correctly. All I need to know is what numbers to put in here. What do you think? 36 inches. So does that go on the top or bottom? On the top. So tell yourself inches. Don't just say 36. 36 inches equals what? 1 yard. Most of the problems we do, there'll be a 1 in there. When you do the chemistry, stoichiometry, there'll be different numbers frequently. So I just do the math. I cancel out the yards. 100 times 36 is 3,600, 3,600. Oops, I was going to write yards. And it won't erase. Okay, we'll just, oh wait, there's an eraser. Okay? And when you're doing this, make sure that you're not, doing things like that. Thank you. Always double check your answers. You might recognize this one's a little bit different, a little bit more involved, but it's still relatively easy. What do we write down? What do we know?
Nothing.
We do. There's a number in there.
1 mile.
1 mile. See the A? So we're going to start with 1 mile. Hate to tell you, but don't write M for mile because it stands for meters. Get you confused. Yeah, you could. You could write MI. All right, so we're going to multiply by conversion factor. What do I want to put in this conversion factor?
You put mile on the bottom
Miles on the bottom. Why?
because the mile has to cancel.
Because miles have to cancel. All right, you're tempted to put inches on top, but does anybody know how many inches are in a mile?
3,000
You just Googled it or something. You can look up here. I'm going to show you how to do it. So even if you have an answer, I'm going to show you how to do it. There happens to be a conversion for feet in a mile. So I'm going to convert to feet first. If I cancel everything out, do I have inches? No. So I need to do another step, and it's easy. I'm going to multiply by another conversion factor. What would I like to go away this time? Feet. So where do they go?
Bottom.
On the bottom. Can I put inches on top now? Anybody know how many inches in a foot? 12, so that's going to be easy. So this is a two-step method. All I have to do now is put in the numbers. And please note that I put the numbers in later. I did all the units first. This is the work. The numbers are easy. So how many feet in a mile?
5,280.
So I'm going to write that in here. Okay, I don't have very much room. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. How many, what's the number I put over here again? 12 what? 12 inches equals 1 foot. Now, what's the math? Cancel out the units. No, don't do that. 5,280 times 12, and you have a number for me, read it out. 63,360, that's 12 times 5280. I canceled out the units. What units are left over? Inches, so I'm going to write inches. That's my answer. Tomorrow we'll talk about metric system, and I'll ask you how many millimeters in a kilometer, and you don't need any real math to do it. You can do it in your head. But this technique helps you do anything. Okay, what do I start down writing? What do I start down writing? What do I start writing down? There we go. 1 year, I'm going to do a Y. Because that's what we're given. I was saying Y for the abbreviation. All right, what are we canceling? Years. Can we go straight to hours?
No.
No. And you can't use Wolfram Alpha and test and quiz, but we can go to days. So I'm going to put D for days, but I need to do another conversion factor because if I cancel years, I have days, but I want hours. So never mind what we're going to. What's the very next step?
Days on the bottom.
Days on the bottom. Why do I do that?
Cancel it out.
So they cancel out. Days can be converted to hours. Okay? Now, what's the next step? Fill in the numbers. All right, question. How many of y'all put 365.25?
Not me.
That's the science geek in me. How many days in a year?
360.
365, except every 4 years you have an extra day, right? Okay, if you wrote 365, don't erase it and do all that. How many hours in a day? 23.9, and don't worry, 24 hours. That's the astronomy teacher in me. All right, we're going to cancel years. We're going to cancel days. And now we have whatever 365 times 24 is, and you have a number. I'll scratch this out so we all have the same one. Answer? 8,706, you said? 60? If you didn't do the 0.25, 8,760, what units? Hours. And that's how you do it.